Listen, you curious souls, to an ancient song that echoes through eternity. It's the tale of how the cosmos was born from darkness, how gods rose and fell like waves upon an endless shore, and how heroes walked among us, with fire in their hearts. Today we're taking a deep dive into that epic saga, Greek mythology, but we're going far beyond just listing names. We're really digging into the foundational stories, creation, the rise of powerful gods, and those legendary heroes who truly shaped their world.
Absolutely. We'll be using a rich collection of ancient tales and insights as our guide. And we're focusing on the crucial bits, the real aha moments. This isn't just a retelling. It's about understanding, the core ideas and themes tucked away in these stories.
Right. Our mission is to uncover those pivotal insights, those surprising facts, how the cosmos sprang from nothing, how power shifted among the gods, and how mortals, with that fire in their hearts, defied or fulfilled their fate. So let's kick things off at the very beginning. Before anything existed, light, matter, time, space, the sources tell us there was chaos.
Right.
But this wasn't just disorder, was it? What exactly was this chaos? Why is that difference between disorder and void so important?
Oh, it's crucial because chaos isn't a mess. It's the primordial chasm, the gaping emptiness before existence itself. Think of it like the first possibility drawn into absolute nothingness. And from that void, the universe's fundamental building blocks, they start to stir.
I like that. And from that incredible emptiness, the first beings emerge. First, Gaia. Wide-bosomed earth. She wasn't really a human-like goddess at first, right? More like the ground itself, mountains, valleys.
Exactly. The solid, eternal foundation. The source puts it beautifully. Mother before there were children, earth before there were footsteps. Just pure potential.
And with Gaia came Tartarus. Deep, terrible.
The pit beneath the earth.
Yeah, described as darker than night, colder than winter's heart. It's like the first prison, A hint of cosmic justice, way down deep.
Chilling. And then, Eros. But not the little cherub with a bow.
No, not at all. This is the primordial Eros, the force of attraction, the cosmic principle drawing things together. Without him, everything stays scattered. But with him, the dance of creation began. It's the glue, essentially.
Okay, so Gaia, Earth, she's alone. And she conceives and bears Uranus, the starry sky.
That's right. To cover her, to be a home for the gods yet to come, and their union, Gaia and Uranus. That gives birth to some really powerful beings. The Titans.
The Titans, yeah. Big names there.
Huge figures. Elemental forces, really. You've got Oceanus, whose waters encircle the world. Hyperion, who's connected to the sun, father of Helios. And then there's Cronus, golden sickle, iron will. His name becomes huge later.
And the Titanesses, too. Rhea. Definitely Rhea, whose maternal heart becomes really pivotal. And Theseus, who embodies divine law, order. Mnemosyne, too. Memory itself. Foundational beings.
But Uranus, the sky.
Yeah.
He starts getting nervous about his kids.
More than nervous, horror, jealousy. These were powerful children. And in what the myths call the first act of cosmic tyranny, he pushes them back into Gaia, back into her womb.
Oof. He wouldn't let them see the light. Gaia must have been
Suffering, groaning under their weight, her body stretched. And inside her, this rage starts building up. Like, magma in a volcano's heart. It's intense imagery.
That sets the stage for the first big power shift, doesn't it? Gaia's had enough.
Completely. She forges this weapon, the sickle of adamant, described as harder than diamond, sharper than starlight, and she calls for rebellion against Uranus.
And who steps up?
Only Cronus, the youngest, the most cunning. He basically says, Mom, I'll do it. Dad's out of line. He started this. So that's a pretty grim precedent, doesn't it, patricide?
Wow. So Cronus ambushes Uranus,
Yeah.
uses the sickle, and that's it for Uranus's reign.
That's it. Power severed. But the act itself has consequences. From the blood drops hitting the earth, the Furies are born, the Erinyes, creatures of vengeance.
Vengeance baked in right from the start.
Exactly. And from the foam, where Uranus's essence hits the sea, Aphrodite rises, goddess of love and beauty.
Love born from violence. That's quite a contrast.
It really is. And that act ushers in the age of Cronus, often called the Golden Age.
The Golden Age. Sounds nice. Peace, plenty.
Supposedly. The world experienced unprecedented peace and plenty. Mortals lived like gods, no hard labor, aged gracefully. The earth just gave food freely, honey flowed, eternal spring. Sounds perfect.
That's always a but in these stories.
Always. This perfection was built on that initial violence and paranoia. Cronus heard the same prophecy his father ignored. One of his own children would overthrow him.
Oh no, not again. What does he do?
His solution is horrifying. As each child is born to his wife, Rhea, he snatches it and swallows it whole.
Swallows them, his own children.
Yes. Hestia, Demeter. Hera, Hades, Poseidon, 5 of them. The source calls them 5 lights extinguished before they could illuminate the world. Just gone.
Rhea must have been devastated.
Unbearably so. She couldn't let it happen again. This cycle of, father against son, fear consuming everything. She had to act.
So for the next child, Zeus. She has a plan.
A desperate one. She flees to Crete, bears Zeus in secret in a cave on Mount Date.
In Cronus. How does she trick him?
She wraps a huge stone in baby clothes, presents it to Cronus, and he, blinded by fear, just swallows the stone, believes he's cheated fate again.
But Zeus is safe, hidden away.
Growing up in secret, his power increasing like a gathering storm, the myths say he was nursed by a goat, a Malthea, guarded by these warriors, the Curetes.
Ah, the ones who clash their shields.
Exactly, to drown out his cries so Cronus wouldn't hear. Clever.
So Zeus grows up, becomes strong. Now what? Confrontation.
Confrontation. Guided by Metis' wisdom personified, really he gets Cronus to drink this potion. And Cronus vomits.
Vomits up.
Everything. First, the stone. Then Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, Hestia, all fully grown and furious, ready for revenge.
That stone. Didn't they put it somewhere significant?
Yes, at Delphi. A monument to that moment of liberation. A reminder.
And now comes the war. The Titanomachy. Olympians versus Titans.
10 years of cosmic war shook creation to its core. Zeus and his siblings against Cronus and most of the older Titans.
Not all the Titans fought against Zeus, though, right?
No, a few sided with him, Prometheus and Epimetheus notably. Oceanus tried to stay neutral, but most fought with Cronus.
The battle descriptions sound insane.
Beyond imagining, Zeus hurled his thunderbolts, the very air caught fire, Poseidon's trident shattering mountains, seas boiling, forests burning, the sky itself nearly cracking. Just chaos.
But 10 years. How did it finally end?
Again, Gaia steps in. Mother Earth knows best, it seems. She advises Zeus. Go down to Tartarus, free the Cyclopes and the 100-handed ones. They're your key to victory.
The Cyclopes. The one-eyed giants.
The very same. Brontes, Staropes, Arges. They were master craftsmen. In gratitude for being freed, they forged the gods' iconic weapons.
Ah, right. The thunderbolt for Zeus.
His ultimate symbol. Poseidon gets the trident, command over the seas, and Hades receives the helm of darkness, invisibility, game changers.
And the 100-handed ones.
The Hecaton chairs.
Codus, Briareos, Gears. 50 heads, 100 hands each. Imagine the strength. They could hurl mountains like pebbles. They joined the fight and, well, that was the turning point.
But Titans couldn't stand against that kind of power.
Unstoppable. The combined might overwhelmed them. The Titans fell. Atlas gets his famous punishment, holding up the sky forever. And Cronus, bound in chains, thrown back into Tartarus. The end of an age. So the Titanomachy wasn't just a war. It was the violent birth of a new cosmic order. Now the winners, the Olympians, they have to divide everything up, establish their rule.
How'd they decide who got what? Seems like that could cause problems.
They cast lots, the 3 main brothers, Zeus, Poseidon, Hades.
Okay, so Zeus draws the heavens. Rule of the sky, storms, king of gods and men. Poseidon gets the seas, all the waters, rivers, everything.
Which leaves Hades with?
The underworld. Dominion over the dead. Grim, maybe, but essential. Earth itself and Mount Olympus, though, they decided to hold those in common. But everyone acknowledged Zeus as the top dog.
And Zeus sets up his throne on Olympus.
Yeah.
Cloud-wrapped, golden palaces.
Exactly. Establishes the seat of power, palaces of gold and crystal, solidifying the new divine hierarchy. But his personal life gets complicated fast.
His first wife, Metis, the wise one. But there's another prophecy.
Yes. Gaia warns him. Metis will bear a son who will overthrow you, Zeus, just like you overthrew Cronus, just like Cronus overthrew Uranus.
And Zeus, he doesn't learn.
He repeats the pattern, echoing his father's cruelty, driven by fear. He swallows Metis whole.
Swallows wisdom itself. But didn't Metis, wasn't she already pregnant?
She was, with Athena. And wisdom, it seems, can't just be swallowed and forgotten. Inside Zeus's head, Metis bears her daughter.
Inside his head. How does Athena get out?
Zeus gets this splitting headache, calls Hephaestus, the smith god, who takes an axe and splits Zeus's skull open.
Oh, yeah.
And out leaps Athena, fully grown, fully armed, goddess of wisdom, strategy, battle, born directly from the mind of the king of the gods. It's a powerful statement.
Wisdom born from the highest authority.
Okay.
And then he marries Hera, his sister.
Yes, Hera becomes his queen, goddess of marriage. Their union is one of power, passion, but also, famously, of jealousy and strife.
Because Zeus wasn't exactly faithful.
Not even slightly. His affairs are legendary, and so is Hera's resulting rage and vengeance. But together they have children. Ares, god of war's brutality, Hebe, youth personified, Eileithyia, overseeing childbirth.
Other important births too, right? Filling out the Olympian family.
Absolutely. From Leto, Zeus fathers the divine twins. Apollo prophecy, music, healing, and Artemis, the fierce huntress, protector of the wild.
And Hermes, the messenger.
Born from Maya, swift, clever Hermes, guide of souls, patron of travelers, merchants, even thieves. Swift as thought itself with those winged sandals and his caduceus staff.
And Hephaestus, the smith god. You mentioned him splitting Zeus's head.
Right. Hephaestus has an interesting story. Born of Hera alone, she was jealous of Zeus birthing Athena, so she produced Hephaestus parthenogenetically. But he was born lame, imperfect. Hera, ashamed, cast him from Olympus. He was raised by sea nymphs, Thetis mainly, but he honed his skills, became the master of fire and forge, created wonders, eventually welcomed back, though always a bit of an outsider. Shows resilience.
Okay, so the Olympian order is established. Gods on high, dealing with their own dramas. Where do we fit in? Humanity? How did we get fire? And why did things get so tough after that supposed golden age?
That brings us to Prometheus. Remember him, the Titan who started with Zeus. His name means forethought.
Right. He's involved in sacrifices.
Exactly. At a place called Mycone, gods and mortals were figuring out how sacrifices should work, who gets what part of the animal. Prometheus, trying to trick Zeus perhaps, or maybe favor mortals, prepares 2 portions from an ox. One pile has the good meat hidden under the stomach lining, looks unappetizing. The other has bones covered in glistening fat, looks great.
And Zeus falls for it.
He chooses the fat-covered bones, and he is furious when he finds out he's been tricked, his punishment for mortals. He withholds fire, leaves them to shiver in darkness and eat their meat raw.
Harsh. But Prometheus doesn't accept that.
No, he pities mankind. So he sneaks up to Olympus, steals a spark of fire from the god's hearth, maybe Apollo's chariot. Sources vary, hides it in a hollow fennel stalk, and brings it down to humanity.
A huge gift. Fire means cooking, warmth, metallurgy, civilization, really.
All the arts, exactly. It lifts humanity from just existing like beasts. But Zeus's anger, now it's immense, and his vengeance is twofold.
Uh-oh. What does he do to Prometheus?
An absolutely brutal, eternal punishment. Chains him to a rock in the Caucasus Mountains. Every day, an eagle comes and tears out his liver.
But it regenerates.
Every night. So the torment is endless. Endless torment. Until the prophecy said a hero yet unborn would free him.
And the punishment for us, for mortals.
That's where Pandora comes in, the first woman. Hephaestus molds her from clay. The gods shower her with gifts, beauty from Aphrodite, skills from Athena, cunning speech from Hermes. Hera gives her curiosity, hence her name, Pandora, all gifted.
Sounds wonderful, but there's a catch.
A big one. Zeus gives her a sealed jar, sometimes called a box, but originally a piphos, a jar. He warns her, never ever open this.
And who does she marry? Not Prometheus.
No, his brother Epimetheus, whose name means afterthought. Prometheus warned him not to accept gifts from Zeus, but Epimetheus doesn't listen. He's charmed by Pandora.
And that curiosity Hera gave her.
Exactly. It gnaws at her. What's in the jar? Why can't she look? Eventually, she opens it.
And out comes.
Everything bad. All the evils that would plague humanity forever. Disease, famine, war, old age, toil, suffering, deceit. Everything pours out into the world.
She tries to close it.
Desperately slams the lid shut, but it's too late. Everything escaped except one thing. Left at the bottom. Hope. Elpis. Fragile. Precious. The one thing, the myths say, that allows humanity to endure all the other sorrows Zeus unleashed.
So that's the end of the Golden Age.
That's it. Replaced by the Iron Age, our age. An era of struggle and strife where we must work for our bread, where trust breaks down, might makes right. The human condition, basically. Which leads us to a really interesting question. In this world, shaped by these powerful, sometimes fickle gods, plagued by evils, what does it mean to be a hero?
Right. How does a mortal navigate all that?
These stories show it means, well, embracing your destiny, facing impossible odds, sometimes even outsmarting the gods, though that's risky, and often there's a huge personal cost involved.
Let's talk about some of them. Perseus. His story starts with a prophecy too, right?
It does. King Acrisius of Argos is told his grandson will kill him, so classic move. He locks his daughter Danae away in a bronze chamber, tries to prevent fate.
But Zeus finds a way.
Always does. Descends as a shower of golden rain. Perseus is conceived. Acrisius, terrified, puts Danae and baby Perseus in a chest and sets them adrift at sea. trying again to cheat fate.
Doesn't work, obviously. Poseidon guides them.
Guides them to the island of Seriphos. They're saved. But later, the king there, Polydectes, wants Danae and wants Perseus out of the way. So he sets him an impossible task.
Bring back the headed Medusa, the Gorgon whose look turns you to stone.
Exactly. Seems like a death sentence. But this is where Perseus shows heroism isn't just strength, it's also about using your wits and getting help.
Divine help in his case.
Lots of it. Athena gives him her polished shield, use it as a mirror. Hermes lends winged sandals and that super sharp sickle. Nymphs give him a magic wallet for the head, and Hades' helm of darkness for invisibility.
He had quite the toolkit.
He needed it. He finds the Rhea, these 3 old sisters sharing one eye and one tooth, tricks them to find Medusa's location, then approaches backward, watching her reflection in the shield, strikes with the sickle, grabs the head, pops on the invisibility helm, and gets away. Cleverness and divine favor.
And on the way back, he saves Andromeda.
Sees her chained to a cliff, about to be eaten by a sea monster, Cetus, slays the monster, saves her, marries her, but even then, fate catches up.
The prophecy about his grandfather.
Years later, at some funeral games, Perseus throws a discus, goes off course, accidentally hits and kills an old man in the crowd, who turns out to be
Cronos, his grandfather.
Exactly, proving the point. No man can escape what the gods have decreed, even a great hero.
Okay, let's unpack the biggest hero of them all, Heracles, or Hercules, as many know him. His name, Glory of Hera. Deeply ironic.
Massively ironic, since Hera was his nemesis from before he was even born. Zeus tricked Alcmene into sleeping with him, stretching one night into 3 to conceive Heracles. Hera was furious.
She tried to kill him as a baby.
Sent 2 huge serpents into his crib, but baby Heracles just laughed and strangled them, one in each hand. Shows his innate power from the start.
But Hera didn't give up. The madness.
That's the tragic core. Years later, Hera sends a divine madness. In his rage, Heracles kills his own wife, Megara, and their children. Unspeakable grief.
And the labors are his punishment. Or purification.
Purification. The oracle at Delphi tells him he must serve his cousin, the cowardly king Eurystheus, for 12 years. Perform whatever labors Eurystheus demands.
And those labors are legendary. The Nemean lion.
Invulnerable hide. Couldn't be pierced by weapons, so Heracles wrestles it, chokes it to death barehanded. Wears its skin as armor afterwards. Raw power.
Lernaean Hydra, the multi-headed monster.
That one needed brains and brawn. Cut off one head, 2 grow back. He needed his nephew, Iolaus, to help Heracles' cuts. Iolaus cauterizes the stumps with a torch. Teamwork and strategy.
The Augean stables. That sounds disgusting.
Thousands of cattle, stables filthy for 30 years. Eurystheus thought it was impossible. But Heracles diverts 2 rivers, Alpheus and Peneus, to flush them clean in a single day. Ingenuity.
What about the apples of the Hesperides? Weren't they guarded by Atlas?
Golden apples guarded by nymphs and a dragon in a garden at the edge of the world. Heracles gets there, finds Atlas holding up the sky. He offers to take the sky for a bit if Atlas will fetch the apples.
Atlas agrees.
He does, gets the apples. But then he thinks, hey, I don't want the sky back. Heracles has to trick him. He says, okay, but can you just hold it for 1 second while I adjust this cushion on my shoulders? Atlas stupidly agrees, takes the sky back, and Heracles grabs the apples and runs. Quick thinking.
And bringing back Cerberus from the underworld.
The final, ultimate labor. Fetch the 3-headed guard dog of Hades without using weapons. Hades agrees, if Heracles can overpower Cerberus using only his strength. He wrestles the monstrous dog into submission. Eurystheus apparently fainted when he saw it. Pure courage and might.
12 labors done. Is he free? Does he find peace?
Not really. Hera's hatred is relentless. Years later, his second wife, Deianira, is tricked by a dying centaur, Nessus. Nessus gives her his blood, claiming it's a love potion.
It wasn't, was it?
It was poisoned with the Hydra's venom from Heracles' arrows. When Deianira fears Heracles loves another woman, Iole, she smears the blood on a robe for him.
Oh, no.
He puts it on. The poison burns his flesh. Unbearable agony. He knows he's dying. He builds his own funeral pyre on Mount Oeta, climbs onto it, and orders it lit.
A terrible end.
For his mortal part, yes. But as the flames consume him, Zeus sends a cloud, a chariot, snatches his immortal spirit and takes him up to Olympus. He becomes a god, reconciles with Hera finally, even marries Hebe, eternal youth. Apotheosis, suffering leading to divinity. Now, Theseus offers a different kind of heroism, especially important for Athens. He's not just about monster slaying, though he does plenty of that. He's about bringing order, a kind of rough justice, clearing the path for civilization.
His origins are a bit mysterious, too. Son of King Aegis.
son of Aegeus of Athens and Aethra of Trajan. Aegeus leaves his sword and sandals under a huge stone, tells Aethra, "If our son can lift this stone when he's grown, send him to me in Athens."
And Theseus manages it easily.
At 16, lifts it no problem, finds the tokens. His mother wants him to take the safe sea route to Athens. But Theseus, he wants to prove himself. He chooses the dangerous land route, specifically because it's dangerous.
The road is full of challenges.
Full of bandits and monsters. And Theseus deals with them using their own methods against them. Poetic justice, you could say.
Like Periphetes, the club bearer.
Crushes travelers' skulls with a giant bronze mace. Theseus wrestles the mace away and beats Periphetes to death with it. Takes the club as his own weapon.
Seen as the pine bender. That sounds awful.
Tied victims between two bent pine trees and let them spring apart, tearing the person in two. Theseus subjects Cronus to the same fate.
Ciron, the foot-washing guy.
Forced travelers to wash his feet at a cliff edge, then kick them off to be eaten by a giant sea turtle. Theseus grabs him by the feet and hurls him off the cliff.
And Procrustes, the stretcher. The story about the bed.
Infamous. Offered travelers lodging, had 2 beds, 1 short, 1 long. If you were too tall for the short bed, he'd chop off your limbs. Too short for the long bed, he'd stretch you on the rack.
What does Theseus do?
He makes Procrustes fit his own bed. It's implied he uses the chopping method. It's brutal, but it's about establishing a principle. The punishment fits the crime, making the road safe by eliminating these chaotic elements.
Yeah, what a journey we've taken.
That's
From the absolute emptiness of chaos, the crazy power struggles of the Titans and Olympians, through humanity getting fire, but also all those evils from Pandora's jar, and then these incredible, often tragic heroes like Perseus, Heracles, Theseus.
this epic stuff and these ancient tales, these echoes of creation. There's so much more than just entertaining stories, aren't they? They dig deep into fundamental questions: creation, destiny, justice, power. Divine power, mortal power. You see these recurring themes again and again: jealousy, vengeance, the endless struggle for control. Things that still feel incredibly relevant today. They show how people tried to make sense of a chaotic, often frightening world.
Absolutely. This deep dive really shows how these myths are just woven into how we understand things. Human nature, our struggles, what we hope for. It's like the last thing in Pandora's jar, hope. These stories, in a way, give us something to hold on to, a framework for the chaos and the order in our own lives. And thinking about it, these stories, ancient as they are, they really make you wonder, don't they? Do we still create our own chaos in the world and our lives, and then fight like mad to establish our own little Olympus of order? And maybe the biggest question: how much of our fate even now is shaped by forces we can't control versus the choices we make when we're facing down overwhelming power? Makes you think.